How do you build an 8x8 elevator that's round? It's been a long time, but I'm back in my elevator world. Today we're going to answer that question. The first thing we need to establish is a basic design. Let's come up a bunch of blocks and let's figure out exactly what it is we want this to look like. If we're going to make this round, we probably want to do it like this. That feels a bit more round. So if we're going to cut this into pieces, we want to make them symmetrical. That's going to make our life a lot easier. Let's say we wanted to do something like that. Now you'll notice what I'm doing is breaking it into pieces that are not 6 blocks long because they're much harder to do. The symmetry we're getting out of this is not what I was expecting. That actually looks like that would work really well. All right, now we got to figure out how to hook this thing up. Alrighty, there we go. There, that gives us something to work with. I haven't done this in a while, but what we want to do is you want each of these to push 3, or at least we want these to reach out as far as they can. So let's see if we can try and hit all of these. So if I were to put one here, here, and here, what would that hit? We can push up to 12 blocks, so you're actually really flexible on these portions. So we're kind of looking at this, but that's not going to fly. I'm remembering now that there's a reason why I make them straight, and it's because we want them to touch the outsides so that they're easy to grab a hold of. And so I'm going to actually completely rework this now. So let's pretend we had a solid 8x8. Can you see the pattern coming? And so now they're all reaching to the outside. And we just need to figure out how to optimize these. You know, the logical thing to do here would actually be to flip this like this and flip this like that. Now we're back to our 12 pieces, but they're considerably easier to reach. Right here, you can put a block here and a block here, and you just grab these two. Now back to the problem of how to grab it. We need to reach all the way over and in with this one. So if I have this here, like that, that's not going to work because it's going to spill over. These wings are my absolute favorite, so let's go ahead and see if we can use these. Just for some clarity, I'm going to get rid of these corners so that we can see the actual size of our block just by looking downward. We're going to run this one across the back right here. I just realized these need to go a bit deeper, so we're going to put them here and here instead. I think that's actually going to get us what we need. We're going to put this here and this here. So we're actually going to run into a problem here if we don't scooch these out of the way, because we need to have observers facing down on each of these that don't touch any slime. And so that should actually work. This is by far my favorite construction. It's just extremely elegant, because what they do is they use all 12 blocks to be able to push as many things as possible. And so that gives you the maximum you could get. And so if I pull out a button, you will see it moves all 12. Super useful. And now if we check it, does it line up? These line up perfectly. So these 3 will pull these 3, those will pull those will pull those, and those will pull those. All right, so let's slide this down. So how do we slide it down? So what we need to do is we need to have 12 blocks total for each one. That includes the blocks that we're going to place on top. So for 4, we need 8, and for 5, we need 7. Where's the dividing line? The dividing line is actually right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm actually going to make it go up like this. Now we need 8 blocks. And so what I can do is I can go 7. We can just put one here if we want. Why not? So let's copy that on this one. So that's 8. We need to do 8 on the other side. So we come over this way. And we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. And see, this is considerably easier because there's nothing in the way. And so we can just go 8. So that will add up to 12 when we put something on top of it. For these, we don't want to touch right there at all. So we've got to come down. So what we'll do is we'll put one underneath to make 8. And we can touch it if we want to with slime. So maybe what we want to do is we want to put one here. But that'll make 8. But we can also do it here. Just you're not going to be able to do that when it comes to this one over here, which we might be in a sticky spot over. Because that's 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to call that good. Now these are 5, so we need 7 total. So what we'll do is we're going to come and go 5, 6. We just have to have a 7th one somewhere. And then we'll come over here and go up. We have to have a 7th one somewhere. So we'll be symmetrical to whatever this is. We'll put it right there. Now we missed this one. Now this one's honey, so we should be able to put it on top of that slime, no problem. And we like symmetry, right? We'll go ahead and not put one there. Instead, we'll put our 8th one right there. And so that's all the hard ones. So let's go ahead and just wire this up the rest of the way, and we should be good to go. Now, obviously, we have to test this right. Let's grab ourselves a top layer, something cool. Well, it certainly looks functional now. So let's trigger each of these. Now, they would get stuck trying to come down, but we should be able to push up without having any problems. So let's go ahead and push them all up, and then we will make them all trigger down at the same time. So that one goes up, that one goes up. If they don't go up, it's a sign they're pushing more than 12 blocks. It's a sign we've missed something. That one goes up, that one goes up, that one goes up, and that one goes up. These ones on the inside. Ooh. I pull those down. And of course, I got to come over here and get these two, which are right there. Funny how that powers these, but it doesn't normally work. See, it only goes one way. Weird. But that does appear to push them. So our final test is going to be to make sure that it actually goes all the way up and all the way down. So let's make the top now. The top is going to need something to block it. And this is to make sure it stops where we want it to stop. And so now we need to trigger all of these at once by triggering this one and this one, and this one and this one at the same time. And then 4 ticks later, 3 ticks, sorry. I forgot to put those observers on the back. I'll do that in a sec. After that, we need to trigger this one. So it's going to be a 3-stage. So let's get some dust in here, shall we? I'm going to put this right here. We'll need some, oh boy. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. We need to have these somewhere else. Let's put them right here. This should be just fine. And so what we'll have to do is we'll have to turn around here and go boop, boop. So as I was saying, we need to put this here, this here, this here, this here. So these are going to be our dust that triggers. We need to have it not power this piston though, so we can't just have a single piece of dust. So it's going to need to run in from this direction. Like that, and like that. Maybe we need to push these back up. This is hilarious. Welcome to the joys of debugging. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Which ones are down again? Ha-ha! I said, ha-ha! There we go. So we've got this dust coming in, and we need to trigger all of this dust at the same time. It shouldn't affect this piston right here. I'm not so worried about the footprint underneath, how much space it takes up. This is going to be the first ones that fire. The second ones are right here. Interesting. So what that means is that we can wire this up, and we can put a 3-tick delay, and then have these fire. Ooh boy. That could be ugly if we're not careful. If you need to just toggle it once, you can break it and place it really quickly. We'll fix that in a minute. So now, if we light up phase 1, phase 2 will automatically be hit as well. So if we light it up right here, let's say, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to the furthest point. It's not going to go far enough. That's a problem. Let's flip this around, actually. That will make this less of a pain in the butt. What we're going to do is we're going to have this come over from this way. So then the maximum distance is not nearly as far. So it'll be a 3-tick delay, and then we'll come over and we will actually send a signal in both directions. So instead of wrapping this around, we'll do what I do on most of my other machines, and we'll come. Now if we power it from here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at the most, so we can reach it. I will say that we probably should fix this. So let's just erase it and remember what was there. So there was 4 blocks here, 3 blocks here, and 1 block down. So what we had is 3 blocks here, and 1 block down, and 4 blocks on top. See, this is the way to remember complex builds, is to, in your brain, write down what it was that you erased. So I erased 4 blocks, and then I erased 4 blocks. And so I know that's how it goes. So this is going to be phase 1. This is going to be phase 2. And then phase 3 is to actually make it go. So what we need is when a redstone pulse comes in right here, we need to come down here 6 ticks later after this, because we need to wait the 3 ticks for the second one and then 3 more ticks. And so what we'll do is we'll come out like this and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Simple enough, right? You'd think I'd done this before or something. And so that, if we did it right, is all we've got to do. How bad do you think I've messed this up? Let's find out. Let's go! Woohoo! Now obviously this isn't workable for a top, but it is workable for a bottom, so let me go ahead and demonstrate. So if we're going to push this down like that, we can go ahead and freely place our glazed terracotta around the edges. See how I do this? This is a crucial thing for building these elevators because you can do anything you want with glazed terracotta and it doesn't stick to the slime. So we're going to go all the way around it like this. Now about that top. Obviously you'd have a way bigger gap in between your bottom floor and up here, but we're just showing the proof of concept for the top and the bottom, so I'm keeping it close. It would actually be more compact if we can place one right here because it will grab this one and it will grab this one. There'll be more than 12 blocks on both. So instead of putting as many down as you normally would, this will grab these two. This one will grab these two. And now for these, we'll do the same thing. You actually only need the middle two of these four. I was tired, but this works too. Either or. 4. And so we just need to do that on the other side. Floor of whatever material you want. You don't have to have anything because as long as you've calculated this correctly and you've got a grip on it, it should not throw it off. Now, if you're testing this, you might start with obsidian just to make sure there's no problems. But I'm going to go ahead and show you that this will be underneath our top. And we'll do the same thing on the other side where we have blocks that grab it. So we'll have a block right there. We'll have these. We'll have one right there. You know what? Why don't we make this cleaner, actually, by connecting them? Is that too controversial? And what we'll do instead... Yeah. If you want, you could instead have a pair of pistons like that. Be careful what floor you put above that slime, of course. We'll go ahead and do both just to show you. Proof of concept, right? Now, I prefer to use target blocks. Use whatever you want, but target blocks will pull your redstone in, so you can kind of be a little bit more compact with them. If we have redstone running around it, we'll grip all of these pistons. Up, 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 up. And so by pushing that in, the whole thing should stay put. And over here, if we're doing it this goofy way, we'll do it like this. Normally, I would just show you how to do it like this, so you can just copy that over instead if you'd rather. But we're going to do it this way, just to show you that you can. Run some redstone dust past these. You see how that pulls in. And so then in order to trigger it to go down, what you'd want to do is get this to let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to make sure we can count to 15 so that we don't have any problems. And you don't want to run these right here or you're going to have problems. If I ran this across, these are going to slide down and it's going to grab it and you're going to have a bad day. That's already going to be way more than 15. That's okay though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, maybe we've got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No. It's cutting it way too close where both of them are 15. So I'm going to put one like right here. And this just is to extend it out. So now we know that we can just put a button on here. So what happens is these will let go. And so what we'll do is we'll make that trigger this right here, and then when the timing is right, because this is going to go down, and 3 ticks later, this is going to go down, and 3 ticks later, these are all going to go down. You don't want it to squeeze back before it's done. One of these buttons may only be for 10 ticks, and so you might not have it be fast enough. Can we put this here? No, we can't, because there's slime blocks here. Unless we use glazed terracotta. Ha-ha! See, there's all kinds of ways to solve the same problem. We'll just use regular redstone dust. See how that grips it? Because of these, it grips the whole top, and so it can't move. If you want to stop it from doing that while you're working on it, you can always just pin it in like that. Let's wait. These over here, we probably want to wait quite a while because we don't want it to grip back. It's going to start going for 3 ticks, and then it's going to start coming, and you want these to be out when this moves out of the way. And so I think that should do it. So if we did that right, let's go ahead and see. It should let go. Oh, I'm a dork. Derp. And see, now what'll happen is when it comes up, it will stop properly. This is the whole reason why we want to do this, is because now you've got a semi-flush, and obviously you can have your walls like we had be a matching block. So our semi-flush thing works. So now let's go and push it again. I pushed this build style to its limits in my 12x12 video. Go check it out, and it won't push too far. Woohoo! Shout out to Austin J and a new patron, not a friend. Your support means the world to me. See you soon.